This is the place you find us each and every week. We try to do a live show because we no longer on the radio every day from 4 to 6. Welcome to an edition of the Sports Rush here on YouTube. Before we get any further, I want to make sure everybody has already clicked that subscribe button so you become a subscriber to the channel. There's no commitment, there's no email harassment. It doesn't cost you anything. There's not an auto renew. You just subscribe because it's the right thing to do to be part of this channel, and it certainly helps us out with our creative outlet. And also make sure while you're subscribing that you give us a thumbs up. You like the video. You can leave any comments. We'll look at comments as we go today. Since we are live, we hopefully will be able to respond to any comments that come in. And of course, you ring the little bell because you'll want to know when we go on live. And what is Ryan? See, Ryan's already weighing in. Ryan is one of our super fans, and he's already weighing in, asking if it's a replica of the New Jersey. And not New Jersey, the state, but a new jersey for the Mastodons. No, it is not. It is simply a T-shirt. I thought it was kind of cool, though, because it's got a little bit of a pattern on the sleeve. And I thought, I don't want to get dressed up on a Saturday, but I don't want to wear one of my, dish rag looking t-shirts. So this was kind of a nice t-shirt. It's actually a different material that's not like cotton. So Ryan, it's not a jersey. If maybe the better answer would have been for me to say it was, then maybe I should have. But hey, we got a big show for you today. We got a lot to cover, even though we're in July. Yes, folks, the show is only going to get better. If you're experiencing us for the first time, we certainly appreciate you. But remember, we're getting football season kicked off here. Everybody that does any kind of talk radio, sports talk radio, knows that the worst time of year to have to be on the air preparing a show is July. But I think we put together quite a spectacular for you today. So I'm glad you're hanging out with us. We've got to talk about the Colts because they're opening camp this week, and there's going to be some new names and faces we're going to want to pay attention to see how they impact this year's edition of the Colts. We've got I guess in some way we'll have a Pacers chat, although it'll be very brief because it's about Pacers Summer League. But there was something newsworthy that came out of Pacers Summer League, and we'll talk about that when we have our photo of the week. WNBA All-Star Game tonight, minus Caitlin Clark. What is at stake for the WNBA? I think there is a ton of pressure on this league tonight, on the players tonight. And I'll tell you why I feel that way when we get a little later in the show. Also, some high school football news. And if that's not enough, we've got Ben Smith from Midwest Box Breaks. Let me tell you what's happening in this country. There is a wave of energy and excitement about the trading card industry again. People are getting back to what they did a generation ago. Everything in this country is cyclical. Things you do as a kid, then you get away from as an adult, then you get back to when you have kids. And that's kind of what's happened with the trading cards. All of a sudden, they have become a hot commodity. And we'll talk to Ben Smith about the popularity of trading cards. He is the man if you need any kind of card collecting, because he has got a website that's fantastic and always got breaks going on. He's got a number of partners in the biz. The one thing about trading cards is sometimes those ups and downs are like reflection of the ethics and ethicality of the people that are running the businesses. And I don't even know if ethicality is a word, but it does sound like it's appropriate here. But you've got all these card people that are the brokers, because you can't just go in and grab it from your checkout lane anymore and get a piece of gum with your baseball cards. Or you can't go to the concession stand at the Little League game. That's where I used to get mine. I used to go to the concession stand and I would buy packs and packs of cards. But how do you get cards now? How do you collect them? The process. We'll talk to Ben Smith about all of that coming up later in the show. Of course, the man, you know him, you love him, you might love him, but you do know him. He is Adam Lundy, and he is now joining us for the show. It is always great to have Adam give up some of his Saturday to be part of the weekly live edition of the Sports Rush. Adam, I know this is just it's time of year when things normally suck for sports talk, but not today. We've got some good stuff to talk about as we prep for Colts camp. We talk about the WNBA All-Star game. We got high school football's already had media day, so we've got some news there. Plenty of things to weigh in on.
You said it. This show could go on a little long if we're not careful, just with how much stuff we have to talk about. But normally a little bit slow. I see Ryan's already asking about my Tampa Bay Rays spring training polo in the
Apparently,
comments.
Brian is really into what we're wearing today.
I just like going down to Florida. I went to a couple Rays games. Why not get a little polo shirt? Anyway, yeah, lot to talk about today. You said it. I mean, Colts, WNBA All-Star Weekend without Clark. Indiana Pacers having some fun in Summer League. Tin Caps back in action. We could go on, my friend.
Yeah, we might mention the Tin Caps, although they only had one game and they lost. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
it wasn't an inspiring game last night to
No,
start
no,
off
they
this
played
season.
last Sunday and lost. They started the second half with the post All-Star break with a loss. Didn't really do a whole lot offensively, and lost last night. It was 4-2 was the final, wasn't it? I'm
Yep.
going by memory, and memory's a bad thing when you get like me. All right, so we got to talk about the Colts because they are ready to get another season started, and there's always optimism when you open up camp that maybe the team is going to be better, and you try to figure out where you stack up against your divisional opponents. Maybe it could be a playoff run, and if you get the playoffs, anything can happen. Here's my biggest concern about the Indianapolis Colts. I don't feel like they resolved their quarterback situation. Daniel Jones is the next in a line of very mediocre potential starting quarterbacks. I mean, you can go back. Philip Rivers was good, but he was at the end of the line. We knew it was late in his career. Same thing with Matt Ryan. You had Carson Wentz in there for a season. You go one by one by one. Joe Flacco, end of his career. Um, and for some reason, Flacco performs better when he's not in Indianapolis. But but the bottom line is, I don't know that Daniel Jones is the guy that totally shifts the needle. He does provide some competition for Anthony Richardson. I'd like to think that Daniel Jones has something untapped that we never saw when he had his years in New York with the Giants. But we're going to have to see if the Colts can get that out of him. So, step number one for the Colts is the quarterback position. And I feel it's the most important position in the NFL. If you're going to make the playoffs or not make the playoffs, I think number one, you've got to get solid quarterback play. And I'm not sure the Colts are in a position to get that with these two competing for the number one job.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And not only are the fact that both of them are average to bad at best, now with Richardson's, shoulder apparently, looking healthy for training camp, we just are going to have a battle of mid, a quarterback battle of mid that's going to just distract because, I mean, the thing is, I think for Steichen, it would be good to go into the season just knowing who your guy is and getting the reps with him in training camp. But the thing is, you've got a guy who either couldn't keep his job, over in the East Coast, or you have Richardson who is inaccurate and, another injury from missing 4, 5, 6 weeks. So it's just, I don't know. I don't like anything about how they're heading into training camp, honestly.
Well, they're going to lose a couple of key players. They lose their center, and he was a big part of the Colts for many years. But there comes a point when your salary cap decisions have made, and the Colts have already heavily invested in their offensive line. You've got a tight end room that has maybe been bolstered. In fact, the one thing the Colts did do really well this offseason, and I've got to give them credit, and I've got to give Chris Ballard credit because it was a different approach this year for Chris Ballard. He has never gone out and competed for a free agent. He has always waited, let all the dust settle from all people battling over some of the top names, figured out who was still left, and then took a chance on them. This year, I think they selected the type of players they wanted. And I think in a couple of spots they went and got them. And one of those positions was corner. One of those positions was safety.
Hey, Brett, they're saying they can't hear you with the Colts graphic on the board here. Yes, sir.
I thought that was such a cool graphic, and then it's gone.
Looks like they can hear you now.
Um, well, that kind of sucks because now I got to figure out when you try some new things. I thought, okay, this graphic will be cool. I'll put this up on the screen. Didn't realize that it was going to cut me off, and I'm not exactly sure how to talk over it.
I
But
We'll figure it out.
we'll figure. See that we're using this summer season to figure these things out. Um, but no, but seriously, let's get back to what I was saying. Some of the changes, because nobody could hear me except for me. Some of the changes the Colts made, I do like. I mean, getting their corner and getting Shavarius Ward, who's a Pro Bowl caliber corner. I'm not going to call him a true shutdown corner, but he is a guy that I think you can leave on an island and trust in man to man. And then you've got Cameron Bynum, who adds a veteran presence at safety, somebody that the Colts really haven't had. Julian Blackmon was probably the best safety they had. And now you bring in Bynum, who kind of solidifies that back line of defense. I like what the Colts have done, addressing what I thought was a real weakness in the team from a year ago by going out and doing something very un-Chris Ballard like and signing guys that weren't the leftovers of the free agent plate.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I do like the additions to the rest of the team, but it just kind of circles back to like I'd like a better quarterback out there throwing to them. Uh, that's I don't know. I just circle back to that.
Well, okay, so that's the defense, but let's talk offense and let's talk Tyler Warren. Um, he is going to have a lot expected of him this year. I thought he was the perfect first round pick. I think he provides the the right type of profile that you need for Anthony Richardson because he can take some pressure off. You can do some tight end reverse. He can run. He's perfectly capable of swinging off the tight end, coming through the backfield and taking a sweep play. He can take a tight end screen. You can send him on a 5 yard little hook route to try to get a quick pass for a few yards, take a little pressure at the line of scrimmage. I like some of the things he does, and he's still a deep threat as a tight end if you get the right matchup with him on a linebacker. So I mean, I think there's plenty of potential in Tyler Warren. Again, it's going to come down to the quarterback play, and so I don't want to put all the pressure on Tyler Warren to have a monster year, because Tyler Warren can only be as good as the quarterbacks that are trying to throw him the football can be. And I still think there may be other options. Pittman, and you've still got Josh Downs. I love Downs. I thought Downs was a great draft pick, and I like the way he's performed on the field. Alec Pierce, I think, he's the guy trying to think good analogy because he is the guy that is essentially a guy you put in the game when you need a 3-pointer. He can't play defense and he can't pass the ball, but if you need a 3-pointer, hits it at the highest percentage you've got on the team. And to me, that's Alec Pierce. He's the guy that you'll try to take it over the top and get it deep. Colts bring back primarily the same receiving group they had a year ago, with the exception of adding Tyler Warren. So, Tyler Warren, what do you think, Adam? What should be the expectations for Tyler Warren this year?
I'd like to see a hopefully just able to get the ball to him in the short routes, just able to make those catches for good, solid chunks of offense. I'm not expecting him to make splashdown plays every time he's on the field, like you said, but if he can be a solid target for either Anthony Richardson or Derrick Jones, if we have to do, if we have for Daniel Jones, if we have to do it, then we have to do it. But like you said, just being a big, solid target out there that is easy to aim at. That's what I like. Don't make it too hard for the quarterback. Someone that's easy to find out there, easy to aim at. Like you said, probably not a monster season just because we don't have the most flashy quarterbacks of all time on the roster. But that's what I expect for Tyler Warren.
Reminder, while you're watching, please click the subscribe button. Please click the like. And if you want to get alerts as to when we do our live shows, you can always click the bell because that will send you the alert. I am Brett Rump. He is Adam Lundy. And also, we would enjoy you just exploring the channel a little bit and see what we're all about. We do the live show on the weekend. And then during the week, as news breaks, I will pop on. Adam's got too many other responsibilities, so he's often tied up. But I will jump on and often just through little short videos, 10 or 15-minute videos about different subjects that pop up during the week. And then a lot of those videos get cut into shorts, and those are like those 60-second or less videos that will scroll through your phone, and you'll see those. But we'd love to have you explore the channel, check out some videos. But the main thing is be sure you subscribe. That would certainly help us. There's no obligation. It's absolutely free. And it would help us out tremendously. All right. So ultimately, let's talk about the quarterback competition. What do we expect to see out of this? Anthony Richardson, it was announced this week, has begun throwing. Apparently, the shoulder has been cleared. I thought this was the perfect opportunity for the Colts to have an excuse to start Daniel Jones. Now I'm worried.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
What do you do? Because my personal belief, Daniel Jones is in a better position to be the Colts quarterback than Anthony Richardson. If the only reason Richardson's the quarterback because he presents a running threat, then why do you pay Jonathan Taylor all the money to be your star running back? Right? I mean, a quarterback has to be the quarterback. He's got to complete 10 or 15-yard throws on 3rd and 9, not run for 3 yards on first down. And so I'm all for, and I still think Daniel Jones can scramble and run and make some plays with his legs. I kind of think that Daniel Jones should be the starter. And I'm probably in the minority believing that Daniel Jones is a better starting quarterback option than Anthony Richardson. But what do you think plays out here in training camp? Is it a competition or is this Anthony Richardson's job?
I think, unfortunately, if he's healthy and able to throw, it's probably going to be Anthony Richardson's job to once again lose this season. I don't know if it's going to be another year of just doing that to let Ballard save face with his draft pick, or if they really do want to give him another year out there on the field to see what they've got. Other than that, I just, like you said, I think Daniel Jones would probably be a better option because, they took Anthony Richardson for quarterback as a run threat, but now they've had to teach him how to, run less, how to, fall better, how to take hits better, because every time it seems like he does run, he ends up injuring himself and takes him out of games, whether it's the shoulder or the neck or other injuries that we've seen. He's just injury prone when he does run. He takes a lot of contact. So, you take part out of his game, and what are you left with? He's just an inaccurate passer. So if you're going to have a passer, why not go with Jones?
Tonight, it is the WNBA All-Star Game. We saw the festivities start last night. Indianapolis putting on like they always do when they are the stage for these big-time events. Always kind of proud. I mean, even though it's not Fort Wayne, it's still in our state. It's as close as this game's ever going to be to Fort Wayne. Still felt proud about the way Indianapolis turned out. Of course, there's great disappointment because Caitlin Clark's not a part of the weekend festivities. I don't know if she'd have beaten Sabrina Ionescu last night in the three-point contest anyway, because Ionescu just absolutely torched the Nets once she got to the final. But I thought last night went really well. It was very concise. It was very quick. I've got one real issue. And I already saw this mentioned on Twitter, so I'll give credit because I think it was James Boyd who brought it up because I felt this last night and I was about to ask the question and I thought maybe it's something everybody's aware of and they like it. But when I saw James Boyd tweet this, if you're going to compete in the skills competition, failure to complete a skill should be knocked against you, shouldn't it?
Yeah, at least a time penalty or something, yeah.
I mean, the winner Natasha Cloud last night, she ended up with with missing all three corner threes. But if you take them quick enough, you can miss all three and still win. I'm like, there should be some kind of a reward or penalty or something. You know, if somebody else goes steps up there and they bury their three on the first shot, and the other person just goes shoot, 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 and runs a little faster, I didn't like it. That's the only part of it I didn't like. But I thought, you know what? They kept the contest moving very quickly. They got to the 3 point contest. They kept that moving very quickly. And the whole night lasted a couple of hours. It wasn't all dragged out by a bunch of sponsorships and a bunch of yakety yak from people on the court. I thought Indianapolis staged a perfect Friday night for the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, no, they did do a very good job, and it is just a shame that Caitlin Clark wasn't able to participate in such a well put on event. Sabrina Ionescu did light it up for three, but it was nice to see Clark competing against her. Other than that, like you said, it was a really good job, and I enjoyed the production. So no complaints other than it sucks to not see Caitlin Clark.
Here's the deal. Tonight is the All-Star game. There is a tremendous amount of pressure on all the participants and the league to have a really great WNBA All-Star game tonight. Here's why. The league has hit a point of popularity that it has never seen. Plenty of people probably are not aware that Caitlin Clark is hurt and have been planning to tune in to watch the best in the league perform. Number one, that means the best in the league better perform like they're the best in the league. If you have missed layups, bad 3 point shooting, turnovers, you're going to take this league and take it back and give up a lot of the momentum you've earned with Caitlin Clark. Because then what will happen, the narrative will be Caitlin Clark is the only thing worth watching in the WNBA. They've got to be able to showcase tonight that their argument that there's plenty of good players throughout this league, it is not just Caitlin Clark, that has to be on display. They cannot fail in the presentation, the execution, and the quality of play tonight, or they move this league backward and probably propel Caitlin Clark forward in the process. The part of that is really important is the league is involved right now in their collective bargaining agreement. The court of public opinion and the support the players get in their fight to earn money. And I don't know where this is going, but the report is the first day of talks did not go well. First, the WNBA, by the way, needs a commissioner, and I will put my name in the hat because I think I can take this league to much bigger places than this commissioner is taking it. This commissioner is so bad that she has, in a very short time with people paying attention, has earned the title of worst commissioner in sports, and that includes Rob Manfred and Gary Bettman. No, I'm kidding, because actually Manfred's done some positive things for baseball. He's done some questionable things, but he's done some positive things. All right. But, Adam, I think this game tonight, it's not about the wins, losses. It's about the entertainment value and the quality of play because people are checking this league out to see if it's as good as all these players claim it is, and they have to do it without their star being the show.
Yeah, we'll see if the motivation is there for the other players. I mean, I'm sure they're aware of what you said, that there's going to be a lot of eyes on them tonight. So, like you said, I'm sure they're going to be motivated to put on a good show. The question is if they can. But I think we're going to see a good one tonight. We'll see, though.
Well, if they want to put on a good show, somehow they have to make sure that Angel Reese doesn't take a shot because that's.
You had to get your shot in, huh?
Oh my God! They'll get another video put out. Angel Reese, part 45. Bang! Man, she just cannot play the game of basketball. She can rebound. Did you see there's a video that was out today with Angel Reese talking to Paige Beckers at practice? And Angel Reese is doing this dribble. and she starts talking to Paige Beckers. First, she then has to double dribble to be able to keep dribbling. Then, after she double dribbles, one dribble with the right hand. Now, remember, she's left handed. One dribble with the right hand, and the ball went like way up here, and she almost lost it and had to grab it. She can't handle the ball. She can't shoot threes. She's not real graceful in shots around the basket. And I'm not trying to be overly critical. I'm just trying to state facts. These are facts. Look at the shooting percentages. She's an all-star. She's an all-star.
I'm going to give her a little credit. You're going to hate this, but I'm going to give her a little bit of credit. In the month of July, her shooting percentage has gone up a little bit. No. Shooting percentage. 64.3, 57.1, 60, 55.6, 43.8. Those are her July games. She's gotten it up a little bit. Turnovers are still high.
You notice her rebounds did go down, though, when she had that great shooting percentage. Just saying. All right. We're going to talk some high school football, too, because we're in high school football. But right now, we don't want to keep our guest waiting because he's got a big Saturday night of plans. This guy's got things to actually do in a weekend. Adam, you and I were like, when do we have the most free time? Yeah, the weekend will work because neither of us have a social life. No, actually, you have more of one than I do.
I got 10 caps tonight.
Yeah, you got it. Well, you work on the weekend. That's not exactly a social life. You actually do.
No. Yeah.
But we gotta bring in our next guest because right now there is a wave of popularity. I just read a story, watched a video about the rising popularity of trading cards and how the industry has changed over the course of a generation or two. And no one better to talk about it than our good buddy, Ben Smith, who, I'm going to have a problem here. I'm going to try to bring him in, and I don't know if it's.
Hey.
Hear me.
Oh, and then you just got to add him, I think.
Well, I tried. I tried to add him to the scene.
You might have to change your scene because I think it's still the Colts background.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me. First let me click him here. Okay, it will not let me. It will not let me add him. It only lets me add him to the scene. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you've got, Adam. Because I've got to look this because I'm having a problem bringing Ben.
Yeah, we'll go back to the Colts offensive line. It should be Bordelini starting in the place of the now gone Ryan Kelly. That should be interesting. We'll see if he's able to take over at center full time. I think Gonzalez is going to be trying to start at right guard. So we'll see if he's able to look good at training camp. And that's all I got there. Currently, the Knicks and the Wizards are tied at 47 apiece in NBA Summer League action.
Okay, so now you're getting the play-by-play, but guess what I got?
Let's go.
I think I got it figured out. I don't know how we ended up in this order. I'm not sure exactly. That was very random, but
we'll take it.
And Ben, you look very short. Now you don't have to stand up.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you okay. Ben Smith, the owner of Midwest Box Breaks, MidwestBoxBreaks.net. And I'll tell you what, if you need any kind of trading cards, right now, of course, we're in the heart of baseball season, so baseball is very popular. But if you need any kind of trading cards for football season getting started, this is the guy. He's the guy to see. He's ethical. He runs the business the right way. He respects the hobby. And he respects the customers, which is even more important. When you buy product, you're going to get the product you bought. You're going to get it in a rapid amount of time. He does everything right. That's why I have become a good friend with Ben. If he was a dirty scoundrel, I wouldn't be. I'd never buy him lunch if I thought he was cheating anybody. But he doesn't do it. And he's got this clean shave because he just did a TV appearance. And I thought, wait, I feel betrayed. He's doing TV appearances, and I've got a video show now. So Ben, how are you?
Good. Now, full disclosure, I've got date night tonight, so I actually had to shave twice in 3 days, and I'm not happy about it. So, yeah, we did do the TV appearance. I love the new setup. I love that you're kind of learning on the fly on some stuff as somebody that is, for me, technically not great at this. And for a guy that probably his first viewing pleasure was Charlie Chaplin back in the day, or the day they brought home a color TV, it's pretty impressive to see you operate
Are you
that
talking?
quickly.
Are you talking about me, Ben?
Yeah,
Or
I'm not talking about Lundy. Lundy's
He's not talking about me, Brett.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
imagine I predated video. But anyway, Ben, I want you to explain what exactly you do, because we talked earlier in the show that the days of so many people in my generation remembering going to the concession stand or going to the checkout at the local convenience store and picking up a pack of cards that included a stick of bubble gum. Those days are over. Now there's a new way to buy and even sell cards. What is it? Midwest Box Breaks. Explain the name and exactly what you do, because I know you can do it much better than I do.
So I've been a card collector since the 80s. Like you mentioned, the pack of gum, the gum inside it and the puzzle pieces and everything else that came with it, the 80s, early 90s. I came back in 2017 and totally different environment. So it was a learning curve. I liked it. There was a lot of things I wanted to do and put my little spin on it too. But like you said, the products are tougher to get. They're more high end. The cards are, you would hope, better quality, better technology, with social media and stuff today, and the age of digital media and instant gratification as far as sports and coverage and breaking news and stuff like that. Everything is, there was a time you didn't know what your team did until you got the paper the next day, and then, live TV and where we're at now too. But so much has changed. So basically, I host box breaks and case breaks. I have a direct account with Fanatics, which owns Topps now, and I post the teams on MidwestBoxBreaks.net. You buy the team you want. There's also a random feature where it's scrambled up and you're just given a team. They're all priced the same, and then whatever you've got, if you've got the Bears, Colts, whatever, the Cubs, Lakers, Pacers, whatever it is, every card I pull stays on camera, every pack, and then you get every card for your team, whether it's worth a nickel or it's worth, we had one sell at auction for a guy that went for $60,000. So you own all the cards, you own all the teams. Again, everything stays on camera. There's a lot of people that do what we do, but there's not many that do it the way we do it. And then a few years ago, it evolved into a full marketplace, live auctions, live streaming and selling while we're on. We stream it all onto social media. There's 800 sellers. I've got other breakers who stream their own content all over the country. We've got pro athletes involved, media members, and it's turned into this huge online marketplace community, and we have a good time, and I really enjoy it.
Ben, I just saw a couple of stories this week that were out there. One was a news story, one was a written story talking about the growth and popularity of the trading card industry and how it is really peaking. And you're on the inside to see it. First of all, are you seeing that same type of significant growth? And what do you feel? Because in my mind, when we had COVID, people had to find hobbies to entertain them. And I think some people started to go back and collect or got into that type of thing. But I think grown from there. What are you seeing? Is the product improving? Are there more people getting involved? What are you seeing with the trading card industry?
For me, the boom, this latest wave or bubble, has been going on for several years. But I know for people that aren't everyday card collectors or, right on the pulse of our industry or the hobby, they're just now learning about it even still. But, obviously everything increased with the internet. I remember, when I first got a computer, getting on eBay and learning how to bid and win auctions, and was amazed that you were a search away from finding, I'm a huge Don Mattingly collector, and you go on there and, hey, here's 30 cards I didn't even know I needed. But it's evolved since then, the internet. It's also helped too that the leagues and the players have been more open about how they collect and the enjoyment they get. And as younger collectors get in and younger players in the league, they're collectors. They find other players that collect. We've got our friend John Schreiber on the Royals. He's a big collector. He's had some of our products. He's opened with Bobby Witt on the jet going home and stuff. And I think it's become cooler. And you get a lot of social media people, influencers, things like that. And it's just kind of blown up from there. And then during the pandemic, it was crazy because no sports, no gambling. A lot of these websites were down. There was nothing to do. And people were, you think about how popular The Last Dance, the Bulls story and some of that other stuff, the F1 content that was going on. People just needed something. And, that was another, things that already kind of popped for us before that. But then once people were home, not working, not doing anything, in some cases, it almost turned into a form of day trading because, an NBA sixth man would get a start because somebody was out, once the leagues were starting back up and stuff. And the next day, hey, this guy dropped, Bull, or Mostert on the Niners had 4 touchdowns and things like that. The next day, things just went nuts. Well, it's kind of corrected itself and settled down, but the hype is still there. There's still, some of the people you guys mentioned earlier, everybody was after Richardson and then Caleb Williams. And there's no stopping no matter what the league, because each class there's another wave of players. And with baseball, as soon as a guy is close to getting called up, we follow the Tin Caps closely. So, there have been people, let's say Ethan Salas, who isn't even up to the show yet. There are people that have been collecting his stuff for a few years now. So there's always something going on. It doesn't matter what league, what sport, and, newfound hype. And now we've got celebrities and media people. We got Travis Scott and some other artists and stuff like that who are into cards, creating their own card product. And, I just got back from Fanatics Fest in New York, and it was crazy. And I posted some of the content. I'm a few feet from Tom Brady and Eli Manning shooting hoops against each other. And, I met Reggie Jackson, Andy Pettit, and these people are just walking around enjoying cards and, actors, actresses. And it's such a fun time. And I'm so grateful and fortunate that I get to do this, for a living. I work pretty hard, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, I was scrolling it on my feed today. I happened to notice, because the Backstreet Boys are big news right now because they're performing a residency at the Sphere out in Las Vegas. And I happened to come across Nick Carter, who is one of the Backstreet Boys. I know that, Ben, if you wonder, how do I know who Nick Carter even is? I know that because I was DJing at a top 40 station, or an adult top 40 station, back in the 90s when the Backstreet Boys broke in. And they were the hottest thing we had. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and Britney Spears took over the radio. But so we got to know the Backstreet Boys. And in fact, I hosted a limousine with a contest winner and took them to a Backstreet Boys concert. So I had to know everything about the Backstreet Boys. But Nick Carter has a video out where he's getting into this card that he got. And that's one thing that I thought about is, I think the product, if you haven't collected for a while, the product has advanced so much. Some of the cards just look unbelievable, and the value of some of the cards. The best thing we could get generally when I was a kid was to get a rookie card. Now with the autographs and the authentic, what do they call it? The clothing or the jersey or whatever. All the different options that are out there now, the 1 of 200 or whatever. It seems to me like what's available for the collector has advanced tremendously in the last few years.
Yeah. And that's, I remember the first packs I opened, 83 tops, looking for Sandberg, Gwynn, at the time, Jesse Barfield, stuff like that. And when I took a break, when I kind of paused as life and adulthood took over, they were just now starting to put pieces of the base in some cards, and they were tougher to get. And you look at where we're at now, most of the products guarantee at least one autograph, or what they call a hit. It could be an autograph or it could be a patch card. There's, in some of the best cases, traceability there, where there's a product Topps Tribute where it's got a hologram. It'll actually tell you what game the jersey was worn in. And I've pulled everything from chunks of football player helmets, pieces of base, jersey. And there are some shortcuts the industry takes, and I don't want to just sit here and shill the industry, because there's some things they could do better. There's some shortcuts where there's a signing event and they say, hey, put this jersey on. And then when it's done, they cut it up, and there's a difference. I'm trying to find some examples here, but there's game worn, which is what it is, game worn. And then there's event used, which means they put it on, they wore it, and they cut it up. And there's I've seen everything from a green striped sock that Mickey Mantle wore at a fantasy camp, where they're like, when did a Yankee player have green in a uniform? And then you do your homework and, oh, it's from this fantasy event he was part of, and whatever year. And there's been some cool things. Sometimes the players, if they're, I'm trying to think of an example. There's a dual card where both players sign it. Well, one signs it first, and then they ship it or transport it to the next player, and they'll write messages back and forth to each other. And there's some pretty cool stuff, and it's fun to pull. I actually hit a hockey card where it had 4 legends signed one side and 4 legends on the other side, like Lemieux, Crosby, Gretzky, Brett Hull. And It was the craziest things I've ever pulled. I don't have one sitting here now. There's a thing called a Deca book, Deca meaning 10, and you unfold it, and all the cards are connected, and there's 2 players on each card. And I had one that was like classic Yankees, where it had a piece of all their jerseys or bats. There was one that had all Hall of Fame pitchers, and I don't want to mislead anybody that you can get those all the time, but they can be rare. There's a superfractor, 1 of 1, which means it's the only one in existence. The card I mentioned before was a Jason Dominguez 1 of 1, while Dominguez was still in A ball, or I think it was AA, and that was the card that sold at auction, after it was graded for $60,000. So, there's negative stories too. Everybody knows, what's going on with Wander Franco right now, and there were people that lost a lot of money trying to stock up on Wander Franco stuff. Whether it's Morant or any of these other guys that have been in trouble. There's been some prospects. A few years back, we were all looking for Kirilloff on the Twins, who I think is in real estate now. And you guys and sports fans are knowledgeable too. They know the average career might be 3 years. Some guys might not even get their cup of coffee. So there's some risk. We try to have fun. I was at my shop here. Shout out Sports Spot. This is a 72 Kellogg's booth, and it's kind of got a lenticular design. I got it for $5. Stuff that flies under the radar. So I don't want people to think, well, I've got to spend a couple $100 to get something I like. And with our marketplace too, there's 12,000 listings, MidwestBoxBreaks.net. I guarantee there's something for you that is within your budget too. So you're going to see a lot of hype and a lot of promotion on great big hits. But there's a lot of fun you can have for what you would normally spend on coffee or snacks, or for guys that golf and play softball and have other hobbies. That this is a lot of times cheaper too. So,
Ben, if somebody comes to you and they say, I collected as a kid, I've gotten away from the hobby, what do you suggest to them to try to learn how to get back in with today's type of card trading that's going on, and what you're doing with Midwest Box Breaks? What's the best step for them to take?
Yeah, it can be really intimidating. And I get a lot of people that, we set up at the tin caps and comments and stuff like that. And I get a lot of people, I'm 50, my age around that time, where they say, I've got cards from the 80s and 90s. There was a period they call the junk wax era, where the production was really high. So a lot of, even if it's good players, might not be worth anything. If you've got cards, the best thing you can do is type the best description you can into eBay and click completed sales. It'll show you, you don't want to just type the description, because it'll show you crazy listing prices and it'll mislead you. You want to make sure you click completed sales. There's a couple other sites. 130point.com is another good one. You can contact me on social media. Go to your local card shop. If there's some trust and honesty there, they should be pretty fair with you. But do a little bit of homework. And like I said before, there's something out there for everybody you can get. If you've got cards sitting at home and you're like, what are these worth? The internet is your friend.
And I'm more interested in somebody who's wanting to get back in and be a buyer. They're wanting to be part of what you're doing today and learn how to buy and start recollecting cards, because it is a different process. And that to me is just as intimidating as trying to sell old cards you've got. What's the best way for someone who wants to jump in and start the business collecting again, or the hobby, I should say? Never go in thinking it's a business.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
If the hobby becomes your business, great, you're Ben Smith. But go in thinking, remembering it's a hobby, it's fun. Don't put your life savings into it, but enjoy doing it, and good things will happen. But what do you tell people as far as when they come to you and say, Ben, I kind of understand what you do, but I want to collect cards. What's the best route for me to take to get in some of your auctions or to learn more about how to collect through Midwest Box Breaks?
Yeah, so you can go to MidwestBoxBreaks.net. My handle under there is Midwest Sports Cards. There's a DM direct message feature there. If you are on there, the alerts will ping you when we're live. And our community is very friendly. And, we've been doing this over 7 years. We were built to support new and returning collectors because I was one. And a lot of people my age were coming back too. Just come in and hang out and ask questions and learn. If you are somebody that just kind of likes to jump in and wants a taste, you can buy smaller boxes. I guess I wasn't prepared. Smaller boxes, $25, $20, $30. A lot of times they're at Walmart, Meijer, Target, things like that. We've got them listed too. If you see I'm live, you jump in and you grab something. I'm happy to open it live for you and ship you the contents. Hang out, watch. If you're somebody that wants to be sure, you can go in $5, $10, $20 or just hang out for a little bit and learn. I promise you the cards aren't going anywhere. There's plenty of time to get what you want, but it's a lot of fun. You can also just see where your nearest card shop is. I'd like to think we're priced a little cheaper, but that's a good way to start. And you know what? It's just like when you were a kid. Go buy some packs. Go buy a smaller box, lock them up, see what you get. And then because of our chat rooms and the other things we've got set up in the live streams, you come in and say, hey, I hit this. Somebody might, this Caitlin Clark card looks pretty big. You might be sitting on a card worth a couple $100. You don't know. And that stuff is pretty accessible to people. But take your time, be patient. We get people that get excited, and then I think sometimes, the bill comes in the next month or their spouse finds out or whatever. You want to pace yourself. You want to learn. If you're just looking for a specific team, the way our breaks are structured, you can go in there. If you're a Cubs fan, grab the Cubs spot. You're going to get all the Cubs. If you're new to our group and I'm like, I don't really feel great about how much I'm sending him, I'm going to find some stuff. I've got plenty of inventory here. I'm happy to add some stuff. If you're looking for Sandberg, Dawson, I might even have Walton here. Who knows? But if there's something else you're looking for, we'll find a way to take care of you.
We really apologize. We've got a picture here. It looks like Ben has been assigned to sit at the kids' table.
Sorry. That's my fault. I can get the chair to go up, and you only want to see so much of me.
Okay, what's the next big release? Because I know there's always, for those that are already part of the hobby and they do understand it, I know we probably got some people watching that know you and have been members and people that are part of your community. What's the next big release coming up? I thought there might be something coming up soon.
Yeah. So Wednesday morning is the national release, and the way that works is we're not allowed to open the product before release day. So national release for Topps Chrome, 2025 Topps Chrome is Wednesday morning, the 23rd. We'll be live at 10 a.m. I've got teams posted now. If you don't care what team you've got, I'll have some random options posted where you might catch a high value team for a cheaper, the average price of the 30 teams. That's how it works. But, for our local guys, Cubs, Reds, Tigers, they're on there. You can also just Google, if you're not sure if your player is in that team, you just Google 2025 Topps Chrome checklist, and you'll see a couple sites that offer the checklist. I think like for our Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong has autographs, but he doesn't have what we call the base card or the common card, so people were concerned about that. So you want to do a little bit of homework, and if you're somebody like me that wants to wing it, go buy your Cubs if they're available. But if you're looking for somebody specific, there are retired players in there. Certain products have prospects that haven't made it to the show yet. Hall of Famers, your average middle reliever is in there, which a lot of us get frustrated with. Want to pull an auto of a guy that pitches, 14 innings a season or whatever. But we've had a lot of fun with it, and we've pulled some big cards, and I'm happy to help in any way, and I'm easily accessible here locally. Tin Caps, Comets. We're doing St. Francis on September 6th. We'll be set up St. Francis football, and Fort Wayne Football Club. We just finished the season here. So, I'm a message away. Facebook.
All right, Ben, I got to let you go because I don't want your wife upset with me.
Yeah, I'm good for a little bit. She's actually not home yet, so.
Well,
we're good. And, we're going to check out.
She won't even know that we ran a little long.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. Always great stuff, man. Appreciate you so much, and I'm sure we will have you on again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Enjoy your date. All right, we'll talk to you later. That is Ben Smith from Midwest Box Breaks joining us here on the show, and it's MidwestBoxBreaks.net. And if you want to follow him on X, you can follow him at Midwest Box Break. Just don't add the last S because there's not enough characters. Midwest Box Break on X. But he does the auctions. A lot of times he has some new member incentives. Like if you're new to the hobby, you can sometimes discounts and stuff. So just a great guy. And we really appreciate him. All right. So Adam, wanted to talk a little high school football because we had high school football media day.
Yeah.
And, of course, high school football media day was a little different for me because I couldn't be there until it was half over. And I walked in and there was like 2/3 of the teams that were still there. And so I real quick ran up, got a chance to see some of the coaches. I did want to have a chance to talk to, find out how they felt about their teams. Didn't have a chance to talk to a lot of players, but there was one player that made the headlines. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
I'm going to say yesterday.
Jaquaden Guilford, who is Quay, he announced among his finalists one of the top recruited wide receivers, not only in the state of Indiana, but in the entire country. And he was being recruited by some powerhouses around the nation. Indiana, which don't laugh, right now they're competing for some of the top recruits. Michigan, yeah. Ohio State, he had a number of them after him, and he finally made his decision. And his decision is he is going to be an Ohio State Buckeye. And I think that's a great spot for a wide receiver if you believe you can win the competition, because it's also going to be a very competitive place. But if you're one of the best receivers at Ohio State, you've earned instant respect in the NFL, because just being the guy that's on the field, you've probably proven you're the cream of the crop. But congratulations to him. He's still got another year of football at Northrop, but he is going to be a Buckeye, following in the footsteps of a couple of other guys we've had here in the last few years. Austin Mack from Luers went to Ohio State, and Craig Young from Wayne, who started his career at Ohio State.
Yeah, the Buckeyes do a pretty good job of kind of sneaking over into Northeast Indiana and getting some of the talent over to Columbus. So like you said, it's going to be a huge opportunity for the young Northrop kid. But like you said, it's one of the top football programs in the nation. So getting some playing time there is absolutely huge, and wish the best to him after this season at Northrop, of course.
And anything from High School Media Day that stood out for you? Anything you learned, heard, or observed?
Just a lot of kids ready to have some fun this season. Honestly, I was working for one of our sister stations, and I
Oh,
was
we
mostly
know, really. We know. We
uh,
heard the story last week. You don't need to rub it in.
I was mostly just doing a lot of picture taking. So didn't get to ask a whole lot of in-depth football questions. Just was more of the media side this year.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody that's tuned in today for our live edition of the Sports Rush. And don't forget, we're here on the weekends. I lost my comments when I went into a panic over my audio disappearing. I should probably try to catch up. Let's see if there's anything that stands out. Adam, you check too, because I had the comments up, but I had to move the comments to be able to move Ben out of the picture and change things. So I was in a frantic, and the crazy thing is, I got to do this on the fly. So I don't know if there was any comments.
I got you.
We got comments. People commented when we had no audio. So I do
Yeah,
appreciate their comments. You know, maybe that's the way because YouTube does look at the engagement. Maybe that's what we have to do on purpose, Adam, is every once in a
exactly.
while we
The
just got to
stream. Yeah,
completely cut the audio of the show until about 10 people have said, hey, we can't hear you. And it's like, okay, YouTube will be happy to know we got comments on the video. Um,
let's
but
see.
anyway, I apologize if we didn't get to your question or get an answer to you. I was trying to follow along and I had to skip out of it. But big thanks to Ben Smith, Midwest Box Breaks, for joining us today. Big thanks to you. Remember, keep up with the channel by subscribing, like the video, and share the channel with your friends. That's very important that you share the channel while you're on our channel on YouTube. All right, so Adam's got to go do some TinCast baseball tonight. Oh, see, he did it to me again. He's got to. I got to get him taught to cut after I cut him. Um, but anyway, big thanks to Adam. He's got to take off, and big thanks to Ben. All right, I forgot to mute my phone. See, now my phone's going off. I'm just a frantic mess. Technology still becoming more and more my friend as time passes. It used to be a lot easier just sitting on the radio. I didn't have as many things to be concerned with. But thank you so much for tuning in and being part of our channel. Football season officially starts this week with Colts camp opening up, and we will be back next week with another edition of the Sports Rush. Have a great sports week, everyone.